my God, there is so much stuff trending in Vermont. This morning we got Red Hen Bakery. Everybody's talking about it in Montpelier as downtown Montpelier continues its comeback story. Wow, there's just so much happening. We got a big spike in crime, sorry to say, making a lot of safety headlines this morning. St. Johnsbury's bomb threat. We got the armed robbery in Bennington. We got the big bust, the big drug bust in Barrie that has just recently taken place. Was a gentleman from Hartford, Connecticut, I think. These stories and so much more kind of dominating the clicks and the conversations statewide. We have forecasts that are calling for some strong storms this week as, we're still talking about weather. And I heard yesterday, and I don't know that there's any truth to it. I hear all kinds of shit, that this summer is going to be the wettest that we've had in 100 years. So we'll see. Also, seeing and hearing all over Facebook about the seasonal black bear issues, which we were talking about a little bit last week with the bird feeders and all that stuff, which I'm going to have fun with later this week. I promise you. I'll give you an update. I should probably just stream it live from the backyard and give the update there. I think I will. We have a crackdown going on fake ticket sites that's happening, price gouging in resale markets, all kinds of stuff that is dominating the news right now. And, of course, everybody and their brothers talking about Spirit Airlines, the big collapse. And I don't know if I should be as worked up about it as everybody else is. I mean, what did I hear last night? Sherilyn was telling me people are coming together so far to try to save Spirit Airlines now. They've put together and raised just in the last couple of days, just since the weekend. What is today? Tuesday? Just since the weekend when it was announced that Spirit Airlines was dead. $132 million raised to try to save Spirit Airlines. And I think the goal is $500 million. That brings up a lot of questions in my mind. Maybe it does for you. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. If we can, as people, put together $132 million in 48 hours to save an airline, can we maybe think about something else? Maybe putting together that kind of money for our veterans? Just curious. A lot going on with travel chaos still across airports, speaking of the airlines. Passengers stranded, major disruptions in Florida, New York City, Midwest hubs. It's just the whole airline industry right now. What a giant kerfuffle all of it is. What a mess. It is Tuesday. As we posted up yesterday, the road work is going to be going on for the next couple of weeks on Camp Street between Hill Street and Tremont Street as the crews are getting ready for paving. This week, Camp Street is going to be closed during the workday between Hill Street and Delmont Street. So expect delays. Be happy that they're paving, right? You got the Air It Out podcast live from North Main Street in Barrie. We are looking at 60 or feeling 60 degrees right now here in central Vermont. Rain, showers, and thunderstorms today, and some of them could be pretty strong. 77 degrees for the daytime high. So temperature-wise, pretty good, but, think about the possibility. And I saw it last night. I'm sure you did. The potential for tornadoes. Anyway, just keep that in mind. Tonight, 48 more showers and thunderstorms. And Wednesday, looks like it's going to be cloudy, some rain showers, a little cooler, 52 for the high on Wednesday, sun and clouds on Thursday, and that's the one that you should enjoy and or mow your lawn because we have some rain coming in Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It looks like, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here, but it looks like the weekend could possibly be a little bit of a washout. All right, so keep that in mind. What I want to mention to you, the community calendar brought to you by the World, Central Vermont's favorite weekly newspaper. Over 22,000 people getting it every single week. It is the Tuesday night dinner over at the American Legion right here in Barrie, post 10. Starts at 5:30. Shepherd's pie tonight, $12. Call ahead. Order at 479-9058. The Tuesday night meal, always try to promote it here at Aired Out. God, I love the words shepherd's pie. If anybody says those words, I stop and I pay attention. Wing Wednesday is tomorrow night, 5 o'clock at the VFW Post 790. This Friday morning, I'm going to be streaming live at the Chamber Challenge Golf Tournament over at the Barrie Country Club with the Central Vermont Chamber of Commerce. It's going to be amazing. I just can't wait. Do I play golf? Hell to the no. The last time, and I was asked, JD, you going to put together a golf team? The last time I played golf, first of all, it was mini golf. And secondly, it was 40 years ago, 30 at least. So, no, I will not be playing golf unless you want to see something hysterical on Friday. I don't even know what a golf club is. I don't understand par or whatever. I don't get any of that. I'll be over there, though, streaming live and having some fun. I guarantee you on Friday morning at about 9 o'clock. We're throwing some big kudos this morning to Alice Goltz, who's getting ready for her Best Buddies International Friendship Walk coming up on Saturday. When she started talking about it on the air here, she had $30 raised so far of her $100 goal. $30. And she texted me last night that she got $220 so far. I'm so happy for her. Very good morning to you. This morning, I am going to be chatting with this handsome dude who's sitting right next to me, Brad Griffen. Good morning, man. How the hell are you?
Good, man. I appreciate you having me.
Dude, first of all, this is the second time I've met you.
Yeah.
You came in here with Heather Penn.
Yes, my wife, yeah.
Your wife, who is the head hunch, badass, big cheese, whatever you want to call her, over at Potter's Angels.
The do-it-aller. Yeah,
man, she is a serious go-getter.
She is, yeah.
You have started your own business,
yes,
which is dog obedience?
Dog training. I work mostly with reactive and aggressive. Well, that's my specialty, reactive and aggressive dogs.
Okay.
But I do obedience. I do pretty mumuch anything they need behavioral-wise.
Your company is called Confident K9.
Confident K-9.
All right. So confidentk-9.com is your website.
Yes.
And you got a Facebook page.
And I do have a Facebook. I apologize now for anybody that looks me up. My content, I'm not as good as you about putting up content. Probably the other side of it where I don't put up a lot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better about that, but it's there.
But here's the thing, though. The reason for that is because you are slammed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. This time of year, it's like, winter will slow you down. It's the slow season. But once it starts warming up, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love being around busy people, and I get it. I understand. So you and I had a very brief exchange back and forth by text, by email. I can't remember which. Just a little bit about you, and what a success story, dude.
Thanks, man.
Here you are. You've started this local Vermont business, and you're doing well. You're doing well, and you have lived a life that would not necessarily suggest that you would be even moderately successful. And I see the look on your face. I mean, is that an understatement? Maybe?
Well, yeah, because I was living a life that wouldn't even predict that I'd still be here. You know what I mean?
Alive.
Yeah, alive, right, yeah.
You are a young 38 years old.
Yes.
We're going to open the book a little bit on your life, and we're going to chat about it. But it involves a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Resiliency, I think, is one word that comes to my mind. But you're a success story in the making.
Thank you, man.
And you've got so much more of your life ahead of you. But you have made some horrifically bad decisions.
I knew that was coming. That's why. Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, no, I have. Absolutely. I mean, they're probably the epitome of bad decisions, yeah.
Have you done time?
I have done some stints in, yeah, nothing, no federal prison or anything, but probably about 4 years altogether in like county jails and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
When did you get out of jail?
Most recently I think it was about, well, I'm 8 years sober just about, so it was probably 6 years ago I got out.
Okay, 6 years ago.
6.5, something like that.
And you've been sober for 8 years?
Yeah, because I include the year that I was in jail as well.
Okay.
So 8 years about.
Whew, that's a long time, dude.
Yeah, which is good, you know.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Certainly the furthest thing possible from easy, though.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people, like, you know, people that are trying to get out or whatever, I don't talk to majority. I had to separate myself, you know. That's how you do it.
Sure.
But when people do come to me for advice or they talk about their experience, I tell them that, you know, for me, staying away from the drugs isn't hard. It was functioning in society again, because you come from such a deep, dark hole of the world when you're in that space, in that environment, that you don't know what normal society's like anymore. You know, it's just the depression and everything else, everything that you do to get the drugs, it just brings you deeper and deeper down. You see the worst of the world, unfortunately, and it just makes it worse. And so once you get sober, it's like all your responsibilities plus trying to function in society again comes. But, you know, you're so sad when you're like that. For me, because I saw the worst of the world, because I spent so many nights homeless, crying, doing all the things, you know, I never want to go back to that. And that part of it's easy for me. But that's my experience.
Or going back to jail.
Yeah, or going back to, well, they're kind of coincide. But yeah.
Holy crap, dude. Listen, you know, when I hear your story, and when others hear your story, and there's a lot of folks that can relate to some extent, and maybe to most extent, what you're going through, what you've gone through. Usually, it doesn't result like this. We got a clean-cut guy who's well-spoken, cup of coffee in his hand, sitting here, nice clothes on, well-spoken and well put together here on the Aired Out Couch. It usually doesn't go that way.
You got to be careful, JD. You're going to blow my head up so much I'm going to float out of here.
Wow. I mean, but it's true, though. I mean, usually this is a downward spiral that picks up a level of momentum that is not stoppable for most.
Yeah.
Of course, it can be. But there's a one constant here that I think we both have heard many times, is that it is absolutely, totally impossible to get your life together, to stop doing something that you're doing regularly that's not good for yourself, or good for, if it's not good for you, it's probably not going to be good for others around you.
Right. Yeah.
Especially in your close circle.
Yeah.
But you can't stop anything unless you want to do it badly enough. And I put those words in there because a lot of us are walking around saying, I want to do this.
Yeah,
but we don't want to do it badly enough.
Right. I was just gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Please do.
But I always said that I think the best measure for somebody that's in active use like that, active addiction, is for them, because most people want to get clean, dude. You know, most people don't have horrible souls.
Yeah.
These behaviors and this depression and all that's coming out because they're in some type of, downspout in life, we'll call it. You know what I mean? Downward slope. And so majority of people will try to go to rehab. Maybe their family wants them to, they talk them into it, or maybe they just really want to do it themselves, and they'll try and they fail, right? So I always thought, like, wouldn't it be cool if there was a place where you as an addict signed a waiver and said, I'm cool with being like locked in a room for however long so I can detox and be given the right medical provisions to keep hydrated and things like that. Because if you have the ability to make any type of choice for yourself, you'll just go back. It's that much of a dependency, you know. But majority of people I ran into wanted to get clean, and the only reason I did was two factors. One, I was in jail for the year and some change, and I wasn't able to get the things that I would have really wanted, which is kind of the same scenario I was talking about. After the fact, I was involved with a program called COSA that's right down the road from here.
Okay.
And they actually put people that are under supervision in the Department of Corrections after they get out in apartments, set them up for success and help them with counseling so that they don't go back. And I owe them pretty much everything for starting me off when I got out and stuff, you know. Not the sobriety itself, but everything leading to it. Every direction I could have taken, they helped me stay away from.
Did you go through treatment court?
I didn't. That is another program that they do, though. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, there's so many people, police, COSA, it doesn't matter, who can and the courts can and will hold you accountable.
Yeah.
But if you don't hold yourself accountable, this cycle is never going to stop.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like the dog.
It'll be a game that keeps on playing.
It's kind of like the dog that gets out of the kennel. No matter what kennel you put it in, it's got some way of, unlocking it with its tongue or something.
Sure.
You're going to find a way to go out and do the things you don't want to do again if you have the choice. Yeah. Generally.
I just before we went live, I turned my phone on, refreshed my screen here, and there's a message that there's a post on Facebook that is right here in front of me, and obviously I'm gonna keep this guy's name confidential, but can't make this up. I mean, this is just coming in right now. His post says, "Have you ever felt like you were truly dead and gone and unfixable?" I don't know this guy. What do you have to say about that?
It resonates so hard because when you're like that, I'll tell you this, right? So when I was like that, I wanted to die. Like I knew it was coming. When you're doing heroin like I was, and especially IV use, you know that you could die at any time that you put that into your body. And a lot of times when you're using, you're looking for the good stuff that puts you on the brink of death and not being dead, or being out of it and then being dead on the other side of that line. And I did die a couple of times. But the point is you're so depressed and you're so encompassed in that dark world I told you that it's coming and you could care less if it does. You may not be committing suicide, but you basically are every time you use IV like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Or in general, but
so you used IV?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
Not at first, but that's typically how it happens. I did like perk 30s, prescription meds kind of thing, and then I went on to heroin, and then from starting heroin, I decided to use IV because I don't know why. It's not really a good decision either way. But
what else? What other drugs?
Well, I mean, when I was young, maybe 11, probably a little later, maybe 13, 14, I did the whole smoke some pot kind of thing. Wasn't great in school, as in like just didn't want to be there. I was great at studying and doing all the things, but I didn't want to be there. And so I dropped out at about 15 years old or whatever. Principal, like I think I told you this before, but he had enough of me. So it was only a couple months till my 16th birthday, and he's like, "Yeah, why don't you go?"
What school?
Twinfield. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was only there for a short stint anyway. I was supposed to go to Spalding, but my house was on the brink of Barrie and headed towards Plainfield area, so I had the choice of where to go. Anyway, when I left there, that's kind of where it went downhill. I chilled with, my homies in Barrie here.
Yeah.
And just kind of drank and partied and did all the things. Got my life together, and then later on got into some hardship and decided I'm going to do hard drugs. So I had like 7 or 8 years doing none of that, getting my life together, and then, depression made me make that bad choice.
Wait a second. You're saying that post high school,
Yep.
things went downhill. Then you slammed the brakes on all of this.
It did, yeah.
And you cleaned yourself up.
Yeah, for the most, I was still young, so I would go out with buddies at night and stuff, but I was working, and I had an apartment, and I was doing all the things.
What are we talking here? 18, 19, 20 years old, somewhere in that?
About 19 to 24.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say. It wasn't a long... Okay, so it was a little bit less year-wise than I thought it was.
Were clean years.
Were clean years, and even like one or so after that was fairly... Like, it was clean, but I didn't necessarily have things together. You know what I mean? I didn't do the drugs until it went real downhill.
So what happened?
It was just like, relationships falling apart, that kind of thing. Money, yeah, money's another one, yeah. And it wasn't even as bad back then as it is now to try to afford things. But
sure.
Yeah.
Anything else that made you fall off the figurative wagon?
Well, it doesn't necessarily take much. When you think in your head that things are falling apart and you've already been in that depressive state so many times in your life, or that downhill state, it doesn't take much for you to be like, I should get a crutch again, whether it be drinking or, whatever it may be. And then the downhill starts again, So
you went full bore.
Yes and no. I started slight, then it was full bore. It was more of like a buddy, because hard drugs, like prescription pills and heroin and all that, I didn't do that until like 26, 27 years old. I may be wrong on the math here a little bit, but it's hard to remember. But regardless, a friend had offered me half of a perk 30. I said yes because I was in that downhill, that depressive mindset. Yeah. And once that happened, it was over. I was like, that's amazing. And
you're getting back on this train.
Yeah, basically at that point, yeah.
And this was the real fast train.
This is the real fast downhill train. Yeah. Shit rolls downhill. Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
And that lasted. So what happened? Obviously.
Yeah.
Bad road.
Oh, so go ahead.
Yeah. No, what happened?
So yeah. I mean, it started there. My buddy had given me that to do. I got that euphoric high, and I said, well, nothing else is touching this. And I actually still was doing fairly decent. I moved up to Burlington area, just randomly with a friend that was living up there. And I started working at, well, I don't want to go into all my employment and make a story long, but I had a really good job up there. And then I had a couple of jobs. And what I was doing after I found that euphoric high was I was like, well, I'm going to work, and then when I get my paycheck at the end of the week, I'm going to buy 2 or 3 for the weekend, and then I'll go back to work Monday or whatever it was. And that happens, and then the times build and build and build to be more, and then you're just spending your whole paycheck on it. Then you don't have a paycheck because your whole life is surrounded by just doing the drugs. You don't even want to go to work anymore. And then when you can't get those really, good drugs, you get the next best thing. The next best thing from opiates, prescription opiates, is heroin,
which is pardon the term here, but it is kind of cheap.
Oh, it's way cheaper. That was one of the reasons that I went over to it. Yeah. All my buddies, right, were doing heroin at that point because you surround yourself with the people, like who you are at that point. And so they were just trying to talk me into how it's cheaper and this and that, and I decided to do it, and it was downhill from there. It didn't take long until I was using IV and stuff. So a couple, maybe 3-4 months.
So Mondays are kind of starting to turn into Sundays, and Sundays are turning into Saturdays, and
Mm.
Thursdays are turning into Fridays, and
Dark Friday. Dark every day of the week. Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So you were a little bit of a transient. You were moving around, couch surfing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I had a GMC Sierra 1500 at the beginning of everything because I had been doing well. And then later on had traded that for drugs because it was the only thing valuable in my life that I could get drugs for.
Wow.
And then, of course, I was on foot and, I had been living in my truck at that point. So then I was really couch surfing. I think I was homeless for, I say 6 years because I was in my truck for a couple, but it was more like 4 years. I was out and about, homeless shelter, churches over here, that and the third. But
Trying to survive through the winter.
dude, it was hard. It was hard. And then the hardest part was, my family loves me. But they didn't want to be around that. And I don't blame them, who knows, if somebody's going to steal from me or something like that. And so I would knock on, I'm not going to say what part of my family's house, but I would knock on one of my family members' house, and be like, hey, it's fucking cold. Can you,
Yeah.
and they'd want to, but they'd be like, we just can't. And it's like -20 out. And I feel bad for them as well as myself. I had nowhere. So then you start resorting to extreme measures, like seeing a vacant, what do you call it? Not apartment. It's more like the business apartments that are around here or whatever.
Yeah.
Office buildings. Seeing it's vacant, trying to find an unlocked window, and if there isn't one, breaking one and sleeping in it because it was that bad. Yeah. That cold out.
And you did that for a couple of years.
Yeah. Yep. A few really, but yeah, it wasn't that bad until the end. So yeah, I'd say a couple of years. Yeah. And you, like I said, you see the worst of it. It's not just that. It's then the people that you're involving yourself with. I'm talking about going to one of the hotel rooms, of course, and seeing, going in there to smoke crack with these people, and they got their year-old kid that they're holding. They pass off to somebody else to take a crack hit, and then get their kid back blowing out the smoke. I've seen women, who have boyfriends. So couples come to a trap house. The guy will stay up in the car. The woman goes down, and then goes back up to the husband after. He has no idea what happened. That kind of thing. I'm not going to go TMI, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
You see all this dark stuff going on, and it's just like, that's your world. It just eats you alive,
It's fascinating for me to hear this, but even more so to learn about how you were able to get off this train, man. Because most people don't.
Yeah.
They just simply don't.
Yeah.
Most people, and I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just being real here. That
A lot of my friends have died. Yeah, absolutely.
have they? How
Yeah.
many?
I mean, I couldn't put a number on it, but I would say less than 30, but
Overdose?
around that number probably. Well, depending. I mean, mental health issues attached to it.
Yeah.
Overdose, accidents that may have happened because they were under the influence, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Lieutenant Governor John Rogers is going to be coming in here real soon, and I'll let everybody know about it when it's going to happen. But we're going to be talking about some of this. It's going to be one of the subjects that we're going to talk about in Vermont. We've got a lot of problems, man.
Yeah.
In this little beautiful state of ours, the drug issues, the opioid addiction is only one part, but it's connected to mental health. It's connected to housing insecurities, food insecurities.
Yep.
I mean, everything is interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your family. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up right here in Barrie.
Right here in Barrie.
Yeah, majority. So I'm not going to name any names just because my grandparents, they're older, you know, and they don't know much about technology and what a friggin' podcast is.
Yeah.
But they had a store up the hill on Washington Street that had an apartment above it, and I was there till I was like 5 or 6. And then I actually grew up on Windywood Road, like up in Barrie Town area. Yeah. And then you know, like I said, when I felt like I wasn't really fitting in, I decided to come back to like Barrie City with my friends, and I kind of hung out here majority of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Barrie's where I'm from. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mom and dad.
Mom and dad. So, dad wasn't really prevalent. Biological dad wasn't really prevalent in my life. I met him later when I was 16, and we still don't really have a great relationship. But my stepdad was there. So, they did great all through my childhood. When I moved out around 18, 19 years old, they divorced, but they were still fine with each other. And so everybody in my family's doing pretty good. Got good jobs, keeping on the up and up with society.
So close with your stepdad?
Yes. Yeah. I haven't seen him in a little while, but yes, close. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about mom?
Mom, very close. Yeah,
Okay.
very close.
Brothers, sisters?
Brothers and sisters, half brothers and sisters.
Okay.
So I got a brother and a sister down in, well, my sister's in North Carolina and my sister's in South Carolina, my brother's in North Carolina. I get them confused. And then I have another sister that used to live in Randolph that she actually just ended up moving down to, I think, North Carolina too.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were they saying during all of this?
Well, we're not super close, so they weren't saying a lot. They wanted the best for me. You know, they're my brothers and sisters, regardless of how close we are. But you know, they weren't really prevalent through it, so they didn't say. But my other side of the family, they just wanted me to get better, wanted to keep helping. But it's like you said, if you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it. You can try as many times as you want. You're just going to fail because you know you actually don't want to. You know?
It's amazing when you can have family, parents, partners, wives, husbands, brothers, sisters, it doesn't matter. Your own kids who want it more than you do.
Mm-hmm.
And the sobriety I'm talking about. And it's just not, no matter how badly they want it, it's not enough to turn the ship.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's really sad because a lot of times they'll try everything they can.
Everything.
And not only did it not get them anywhere, it got them less than where they were before because maybe some of their stuff is stolen. Maybe they took time out of their day where they should have been at work and didn't get. Regardless, it's a cancer, man. You know, it really is. Just that the drugs and the mindset and everything. Yeah. You
know, we just had a big one here in Barrie, big drug bust. I was just talking about it this morning. Did you hear about it? Did you see what was?
I didn't, no.
Honestly, there are and have been over just since I started podcasting 8 years ago, so many busts that it's almost something that I've become, admittedly, kind of desensitized to.
Yeah.
They're so frequent.
Mm-hmm.
There's small ones, there's medium ones, there's big ones like we just had. This guy's from Springfield, Mass. That guy's from Hartford, Connecticut. This is coming in from Albany, New York. I mean, there's this guy's pulled over, that guy's pulled over. There's a car chase a couple weeks ago. There's so much of it.
Yeah.
In this, I'm not dissing on Barrie. It's all over Vermont, man.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Now we're getting out in the woods. Now we're getting out in the country.
Oh yeah. I know. It's always so weird to hear that. You know, like you hear about like Worcester and like
I know.
You know, I'm like, what the, you know, but yeah.
Verschier. I mean,
yeah.
Really?
Yep. That was even a while back, and I want.
Well, which one?
No, but I'm saying,
I mean,
like
there's so many.
When I was like 15 or 16, that dude was murdered out there over ecstasy or whatever it
Yeah.
was back in the day. So
Yeah.
I remember that, and that was when like things weren't happening like they are now. So it's just, yeah, man, yeah,
Listen, we can sit around very easily
yeah, right,
and point fingers at why we've got the problems that we have in Vermont, why we have the drug problems, and the courts aren't tough enough, and slaps on the wrists, and so on and so forth, and there's not enough services, or there's too many services, or this is the go-to state to come if you want a free handout in everything, and if you want to live your life as a junkie, Vermont's the state to do it. You know, we hear this, we see it, I see these comments all the time, constantly on Facebook.
mm-hmm.
There's some real things that we need to get our hands on the wheel and start getting control of here in Vermont. And like I said earlier, many of them, if not most of them, are interconnected and related. But to see, to hear, to experience this morning somebody who is, like I referred to you earlier, a success story in the making, gives real hope and encouragement and inspiration that, man, it's like if you want it badly enough, you can do anything that you want in your life. Anything, including getting sober and starting change.
Mm-hmm.
Baby steps, whether it's losing weight, quit smoking, or even as extreme as your situation, getting clean.
Mm-hmm.
What's your family saying now? You said you've been sober for 6 years. What are they saying now? They've got to be blown away. You've got this business.
Yeah. Yeah, they're super proud. I mean, they're just as proud of me as I am of myself, you know. I kind of live every day like I'm still atoning for everything, you know. So it's like it's easier for them to take it in because they got an outside perspective, but they're super proud of me.
Sure.
I mean, you know, they were the first ones in my corners, first ones in my corner. I delivered beer, and my whole thing was delivery for like 15 years altogether. I delivered everything you can think of, mostly beer though. And I injured myself, and that was like last year, essentially, in around this time of year. And I just told myself, dude, I'm falling apart. I'm at the time I was 36, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I want to be happy in life. I want to have meaning. And so to take that jump, to say, I'm not going to do what I've done for 15 years. I'm going to try to run my own business. They were the first ones in my corner, dude. And that was a scary scenario because you don't know what you're going to do or what it's going to be like.
They never would have been in your corner if they didn't really believe that you could do something like this.
Correct. Yeah. Which I wouldn't want them to be. If they thought for a second that, you know, I wasn't going to do it, they probably just would have kind of shrugged it like, good for you, you know, that kind of thing. But they wouldn't have been in my corner, no. Yeah.
It was genuine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, the thing is, and we all need to remind ourselves of this. We all need to learn this. Is that, my God, do you know this? You're the epitome of this. You have to surround yourself with successful people,
Mm-hmm.
with folks who are pushing forward,
Mm-hmm.
believe in themselves that they can thrive and not just survive. But people who have real ambition, people who have goals that maybe are attainable, maybe they're not so much attainable, but at least they have dreams and they're pushing forward for that.
Yeah.
And they're motivated, they're driven. Every single day they begin their day with I'm I want to do this. I'm going for it. I'm not going to let even on bad days. I'm not going to let anything discourage me to the point where I'm considering giving up. Those are the people that you want to surround yourself with, and you're doing that right now. Look at your wife,
dude. She's incredible. I have to. You were saying before, or we were saying before, that she's a goer. I literally have to almost kidnap her, put her on the recliner, and say, "Dude, here's your blanket. Here's some food.
Stop.
Watch a movie. Just chill.
Sit down and stop."
Yeah, seriously, man.
But that's the kind of, and you want friends like that too.
Yeah. I gotta get more of those. I've had less of those, but
man, that's the key, bro.
Yeah. I think it is. I think you're right. I think honestly, I mean, not only are you onto something, but I think like whatever you see as success is the people that, you know what I mean?
Agreed.
You know, because like some people have a hard enough time sitting with themselves for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So find people that are okay with themselves, okay with you, and especially where you feel like you want to go, or even if you haven't found that yet. Maybe those people will help you find that, you know? So like, you know, success doesn't have to be Joe Rogan. Success doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? Success 100%. Could be you just feel at peace with yourself, you know? And that's huge. Huge, you know? That's where I'm at. I'm trying to get there, man. It's, you know, but busy. You always got to find the time to take for yourself too. That's the thing.
I'm having a hard time doing that.
Well, y'all are.
I really am.
Yeah, no, I believe you. It's super hard.
You say 20 minutes.
Yeah, whatever it takes, man. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a little brook by my house.
Yeah.
You know, I might take one dog down there because we have 5 of our own at the house, and then I do board and trains, and we babysit and board too. So typically at the house, it's like 10 dogs at a time. But anyway, I'll take one, go to the brook, just chill, watch him do his thing. For me, that's peace. That's serenity, you know?
You know, I was going to say to you, and I was waiting for the door to open on this, and you just opened it. I was going to say something to you to the effect of you've led a life that's really dark.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen a little bit of the light, gone back to the dark, and now you're back in the light, and the light is
strong,
brighter than ever.
Strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's something about, when I say man, I don't necessarily mean a man. Humans, with our relationship, our connectivity with animals, broad strokes here, but really specifically dogs.
Mm-hmm.
There's something, man. I've tried to write about it in the past, and I've looked at it and I'm like, man, you're just barely scratching the surface here.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship that we have with dogs. You know, there's a reason why it's man's best friend. They don't judge us.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, frankly, give a shit what your past is.
Yeah.
They just want to be here and now.
Yeah.
They want to be present with you, with what's going on today, right now.
Yep.
They're happy. When they're in the river and you're sitting there watching them, they don't give a shit about anything else other than the fact that they're playing in the river right now, and they know that you're close by and that you're happy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. I think as a society, you know, especially as humans, we're so smart, and we've created this structure, you know, and it's great in some senses, and then in the other, it's like, you know, Vermont's, I don't mean to go from one subject to the next, but this goes into it. Vermont's so great to be able to be in touch with nature and what was meant to be here beforehand. You know, cities, you go into a city and it's all around you. The societal structure I was talking about, it's all around you.
Sure.
and you feel like you can't escape it. Vermont is really easy to be grounded and realize what it was all supposed to be, not this shit, you know? And so I don't know why I find I have a better relationship with dogs than I do humans, but I know in those moments watching them play or training them and seeing how happy they are to work with you, literally, because they'll get happy to work with you. You know, that peace in those moments, I know that's why we're here. Those moments, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
I feel like that in my experience, you know. But.
Do you think that the life that you've led and everything, that this is partly or mostly responsible for why you've gravitated to dogs?
Yeah, repeat that again. I'm sorry.
The life that you've led,
Yeah.
that is partly or mostly the reason why you have gravitated so much. You've been attracted so much to dogs.
Yeah, I think it's the. See, me personally, I want to work with aggressive dogs. I want to work with reactive dogs. I want the fucking dogs. Excuse me.
No, please.
I want the fucking dogs that are having the hardest time, this close to euthanization, people are going to give up on them. I want those dogs. And I think that is very prevalent from what I was doing before, for sure. You know, giving somebody a chance when it looks like they shouldn't have one, that kind of thing. But it's the innocence, it's the unconditional love they have that you brought up, same thing, and it's the giving them a chance when they don't got one. That, yeah.
You've made strides with some of these dogs?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, granted, there's a small percentage that you wouldn't be able to get through to, but we're talking a very small percentage. I mean, I feel like dogs with neurological issues, dogs with PTSD, maybe former police dogs, that kind of thing, take up maybe 5 tops 10%. Majority of the rest, it's just it's behaviors that people couldn't see coming because they couldn't read the dog, or they didn't give the dog enough structure or outlets. 9 times out of 10, when I go to a home to do like a private session or do an evaluation for a board and train or something, it is almost 100%. Well, I said 9 times out of 10. So 9 times out of 10, it's what's called lack of leadership. It's a term in the training community, well, dog community. It just means that for whatever reason, that dog doesn't see the owners as a leader. So it's choosing to do what it wants. And then those behaviors in time get worse and worse. And, then we get the dog that we see when I show up and stuff. But I can't tell you how many times that I've just told a dog no and it stops. But it's because the owner didn't know. They just didn't have the information or the knowledge to know how to do things appropriately.
Are you coming in there guns blazing with a loud voice and the booming alpha? Or are you chill like you are right now?
So I do what's called balance training, and it all depends on the behavior. If you have a fearful or anxious dog, no, you don't come in you don't really come in like that anyway. You have to build a bond with the dog before you can start, and you have to direct the dog before you can ever correct the dog. But with a fearful or anxious type of dog, no, you don't do any of that. It's more desensitization is what it's called, and counter conditioning. So the counter conditioning, these big words, right? But it just means you're handing the dog an Uno reverse card. So you're saying whatever your trigger is, I'm now going to give you high value treats or whatever it takes for you to feel good in this moment, for you to be happy in this moment. So if you have a dog that's fear aggressive, let's say, you would do what you got to do to form a little bit of a bond with him, because chances are he's not going to give a shit about you. He's going to want to bite you, right? So maybe you muzzle condition him however you possibly can. Get him used to having a muzzle on. And then while he has that muzzle on, what you first would do is you'd work up endorphins. You'd take them out on little hikes or walk them around, get those endorphins going so they feel a little bit better, build a little confidence with you, maybe a bond with you.
Brain chemistry.
Brain chemistry, man. It goes down to the 4 big ones: oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, excuse me. Oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, and the one I just mentioned, endorphins.
Endorphins.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm not a friggin' scientist over here, but you would release endorphins through exercise, and then while they're muzzle trained or muzzle conditioned, you might be able to get some oxytocin, some touch in there, make them okay with you a little bit more, and through time, you would expose them to desensitize them, maybe bring them out and about, show them that people aren't a threat, they don't have to be scared, but it's all individual. So every dog is different. Every situation, it's situational. Every dog is different. Every job I go into requires a different touch.
Just like humans, where they're all everyone's unique.
Yeah, exactly. So no story is ever the same. Yeah. So the approach is always going to be different.
What did you say earlier? You said you said directing, and you can't direct unless you something.
Oh, you can't correct until you direct, meaning you have to teach the dog what you want from it before you can correct. So, it's like if the dog has no leash skills, you can't just start, popping him on the leash trying to correct him because he doesn't know what the hell to do. It's like somebody you don't know walking up to you on the street and slapping you for no reason. Yeah. They have no idea where the hell that just came out of left field from. So you have to show the dog before you can correct the dog. Yeah.
This is. Have you ever felt? Wow. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a difference with this dog. This dog might be unfixable.
Unfortunately, I did run into that. Well, it's because I didn't have enough time. Mm-hmm. So it was a dog through Potter's Angels Rescue. He was a big bulldog. I can't remember. So his name was Boog, but he was a big bulldog. He was brindle white, different color eyes, beautiful dog, and amazing with humans for the most part. But he just had a frustration type aggression, mm-hmm. where because he was in the kennel for so long, he would just start taking his aggression out on inanimate objects and stuff.
Wow.
And yeah. Just like the water bucket that's in with him, or he'll be walking by a little wooden ramp and maybe try just inanimate things, random times. It seems like unpredictable kind of thing. And I only had 5 days to work with him. That's not enough. I should have gotten to it beforehand, but I was doing so much pro bono work to try to get my business going. Anyway, I didn't have a lot of time. And so I got somewheres with him, and I e-collar trained him, because you can use the e-collar as a behavior modification tool, but you have to do it properly. And it was working so well. He did so good. But his prey drive was so high that ultimately what ended up happening, and you learn through experience, so this is something I learned, but ultimately what happened is his prey drive was so high and he was so locked in that when I tried to use the e-collar to change the mindset, that's all it's supposed to do, is wherever they are instinctually in their mindset, it's just supposed to snap them out of it.
Yeah.
Right? It's never supposed to be anything more than that. But because I was trying that and he was so locked in on that prey drive, it actually intensified it and made it worse. And that was the telltale near the fourth day, where I was like, I'm not going to have time to get through to this guy. Wow. And so that was the only time, though. Thank God that was the only time. And I've trained probably close to 100 dogs at this point, and because I've been in business just the last year or so.
Just a year.
What's that? Just a year for the business itself. It's been just about a year. Yeah. Yeah,
it's a lot of people look at the e-collar as punishment, but it's really just like you say, interrupting their distractions and mm-hmm. redirecting them to focus.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny. It's a stigma, right?
Yeah.
It's like I got 2 bull-headed Rottweilers that I love to death, but
sure.
the stigma when I walk down the street with them, people are like, I think I'll go to the other side for now,
Yeah, wow.
But
wow.
It is a stigma because people think shock collar.
Yeah.
When they think e-collar, they think shock collar.
Shock.
The thing about the e-collar is, yes, there's electronic stimulation, but it's levels 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And typically what I'll do with a client is I'll put it on what's called a working level that you would normally use with the dog.
Sure.
And it's like a 5 to 8 normally. And I'll put the e-collar on their palm right here, and I'll press the button, And they'll be like, I can't feel it. And then I'll say, okay, let me know when you do. And I'll raise the level up just a little bit.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, yeah, I felt that. It's like level
Yeah.
15 to 20 normally.
Right.
So they wouldn't even feel with
Of course.
So I show them that it's not what you think. It's not a shock collar in that sense.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the prong collar.
Yeah.
People look at the prong collar
Yeah.
like it's this barbaric tool.
Right.
But it's actually designed for two specific reasons. One, to mimic the bite of a mother dog, right, around the neck.
Wow.
Yeah. And then two, it's actually designed, if you get the proper one, which you're supposed to, like a Herm Sprenger. So it's actually designed on the bottom to where the prongs go this way. And it's designed not to sit on the trachea of the dog when you have a heavy puller. There's really no other collar out there that you'll find like that. Everything else cinches and rests right here, even if it's a
Cutting
slip
off
lead.
their airway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So when you have a
Really?
heavy puller, that's why prong can be night and day, and you're actually saving your dog's neck versus cinching it and being on the trachea.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of my wife who wants to get me an e-collar when she's trying to talk to me, and I'm so focused on what I'm trying to do. I just asked you a question. Pay attention. Yeah, man, this is fascinating stuff. So, folks, they can reach out to you. They can set up an introduction between you and their dog. Ask you questions. Do a little bit of a phone interview, maybe.
Yeah. That's typically how I do it. If they reach out to me, it's generally through submission on the website, because I have a form that, has is the dog neutered, what age, such and such, what breed. You fill all that out, goals you wish to accomplish, that kind of thing. And then I'll give you a call when I get the submission and talk a little bit more in depth with you. But generally it all starts with an evaluation. I'll come see the dog either at your house or wherever we deem necessary, maybe a park somewhere.
Sure.
Meet the dog and then give you my evaluation, what I came up with from seeing your dog's behavior and exhibiting that and stuff. And then we'll come up with a game plan.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of people, we get dogs, we love dogs, but we don't necessarily know sometimes, unless we, get an older dog that's just a lap dog. A lot of us, we get puppies or whatever, and we get into a situation where the fantasy of having this dog is not turning out to be the reality of what's going on. And it's honestly, let's just say it like it is, it's creating more stress and anxiety in the house than it is joy.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Yeah, because you have dog owners that aren't necessarily aware of the things that are entailed with having a well-structured dog.
Yeah, and it depends on the breed too.
It does, absolutely. If you got a working line breed that's this high of dopamine all the time, it's all
Border Collie.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Border Collies are a good example. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, this has been a fascinating conversation, both about your personal life and how this is all built up and connected into what you're doing with your life now.
And I owe it all to Heather, I'm going to be honest with you. I was not as knowledgeable about dogs until she came into my life, and she was my biggest supporter in getting this business going. So
it's so cool, man.
Yeah.
I love to hear that. And you talk about somebody that is well-grounded and determined to pursue goals and make a real difference. That's Heather.
Oh yeah, she'll fight tooth and nail, and she
I know.
has.
I know.
Yeah.
You found your person, man. I mean, what a great lady. She's always so well spoken. She knows she's invited in here anytime.
Oh yeah.
No matter what she wants to talk about.
Oh, she likes you, dude. She loves coming here.
And it was great to see you with her last time. I hope you guys come in again. But man, it's like, I'm just listening to you. You're talking about dogs that have some ingrained neurochemistry, whatever it is, PTSD, whether they were abused, whether they were neglected. There's so many different forms of this, but the firing and the wiring of what's going on in their brains, the chemistry, the circuitry of what's happening in their brains. You can relate to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
With how you've led your life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, dopamine, man, right? Your dopamine receptors when you're doing heroin, they're full, right? So, yeah, I guess I should coincide with those super hyper dogs more, but yeah, it is kind of like that.
This is relatability of man to beast.
Yeah, no shit.
Really?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah. It is. Dude, it just feels good, man. Like, somebody asked me not that long ago the same question you did, how would you correlate that with what you've been through and what do you think? And I don't know. I can't put a finger on it, but I would say that it's just like I said before, the innocence, man. Just being able to help a creature that we put in this position more or less probably,
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 again. That we created these behavioral issues, and now he's going to be put down. An innocent creature that we created this mess is going to be put down. And
Yep.
Yeah, I hate that.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
They what is it? Pheromones? I don't know what it's called, but they sense, they smell your intention.
Oh yeah.
With them.
Yeah, they smell. It's like actually, I'll give you a good example. So their nose is 60% of the information to their brain. So,
what?
Yeah, 60%. I think it is 60 or 70. I don't remember, but a lot. It's the most from their other senses. So I had Ginger with me. This is probably when she was. This is my female Rottweiler. She was probably about 7 months old. Doesn't have a mean bone in her body, friendly with everybody, not your typical Rottweiler in that sense. And I brought her to the gas station, and I saw somebody that I knew from the previous life kind of thing, and he hadn't gotten out of it. And Ginger is like looking at everybody, wants to lick. She makes eye contact with that guy one time, freaks out. So she knew, right? So it's instances like that with dogs where it's like, man, they can just... They sense things that you had no friggin' idea or wouldn't have any friggin' idea if you didn't know the guy or whatever,
Yeah, that's amazing. It's like a different, like a night vision or something. It's amazing.
Yeah, see through you, really. Yeah,
that's so cool. Thanks for coming in here, dude.
Oh, dude, thanks for having me.
Can we do this again?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do this again.
This was great.
I love it, man. Yeah. Becky wants to know, did the 2 dogs get adopted?
Which 2 dogs?
The 2
from here?
Yorkies.
I think they did. So we've had in the last, I don't know, few months or so, we've had a couples of Yorkies, but the ones that were here with us last, I believe they did.
Okay, cool.
I believe they did. That's the rescue side of things is more Heather. I don't know. Right. I'm not as prevalent with that.
Yeah.
But as far as I can remember, I think she did tell me they were adopted.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is so much more than you love dogs and your name is Brad. What this is your name is Brad and you need dogs in your life.
Yeah.
Just like Heather.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think
you got to have them.
At this point, I don't think I could survive without them now.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
I love to hear that, dude.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Yeah, man.
Brother, stay in touch, man. What a story on you. What remarkable story. I'm so glad we did this.
Me too.
Let's do it again.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for coming in here, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Brad Griffen, if you want to have a look at his website, at his business, confidentk-9.com. confidentk-9.com. And you're on Facebook.
I am. Yes.
All right, brother.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Hey, listen. Please keep on kicking ass in your life.
All right, man.
Because you're doing this, man. It's like, really? who gives a shit about who's proud of you? Because you're proud of yourself, and the bottom line is that's going to matter. That's going to hold more water than anything else.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Rock on, bro.
Appreciate you,
All right.
JD.
All
Thanks,
right.
man.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys.